games and on the SCG Tour. It's Sam Black on the left. It's Tom Ross on the right. Both these players 4-1, and this should be a lot of fun to watch here. As Sam Black, a big proponent of Death Shadow, feeling it is the best deck in Modern, and it's hard to argue. A top 4 at Grand Prix Vancouver last weekend. He's off to a great start here this weekend in Indy. He'll start by cycling a Street Wraith. Down to 18 he goes. Perhaps he'll cycle another Street Wraith. Down to 16 he goes. I wasn't sure if Sam had a land. He definitely has one now.
It looks like he had a Blood Crypt. Maybe he kept a no-lander. Who knows? Yeah. Who cares? It's fine.
Here's a bobble. Sam wants to take a look at Tom's deck. See what the top card is. He's working with some info now. Next up is a Blood Crypt untapped. He's down to 14.
Now with the mana left over, he can Tarfire himself. And that's just the turn. Yep. That's the explosive turn one you're looking for. Cycle 2 Strafe Wraith, bobble you, Blood Crypt untapped, Tarfire myself. Is it my turn?
Yeah. We're going to go Tom Ross's way as Sam is drawn from his bobble trigger. I really do hope it's Starfire me. So bad. Tower, map, go. Tarfire. Oh, yeah. Where are we going with that?
This is how Richard Garfield imagined it. Right here.
Yep.
That opening turn.
I'm at 12. What do you think about that, Tom? Huh?
Here's a bunch of nonsense, spinning my tires and bolt myself and go to my turn. And
Reese Smith from Standard Constructed #1. Please make your way to the Giddy.
I hope I see someone Tarfire themselves and someone's like, I'll counter it. No way. No way am I letting that happen.
Dispel.
Yeah.
#1.
Can you imagine what this format would look like if mental misstep was legal?
It'd be problematic.
Oh my goodness.
It might. It could have the recipe of slowing the games down a little bit.
Maybe.
But I think that card is such bad gameplay that it's not worth it, even if it could do some theoretical good work.
Shane's complaining online so much about unbanning Jace. The card he should be asking to get back is mental misstep.
Yeah.
Sam's down to 9, second turn of the game.
Everything going the way that he drew it up.
And now Tarmogoyf. 3/4. Gotta be bigger than the 3/4.
Land, artifact, creature, tribal, which was the card type that was initially previewed on Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it's a 5/6.
A lot of dubious goals. A lot of dubious R&D goals all slammed into one deck.
Yep. Llanowar Wastes here for Tom, perhaps? Maybe. Maybe not. He's thinking. He's got a star, no stone. There's a star. Crack the star. Nope, he's just going to wait. Let's go to Sam. Thoughtseize the draw.
Thoughtseize a very nice draw here. Some information. And he wants to clear the path for this Death Shadow. It's some more damage.
He's not going to Thoughtseize himself. It's important to be clear about these things. Here's Fatal Push on the Tarmogoyf.
Discard an artifact.
Yeah. Here's Tom's hand. Relic of Progenitus, Ugin, Karn, O-Stone, Sylvan Scrying. So the coast is certainly clear for Death Shadow now.
Yep. Tom is going to have to be able to survive a turn, most likely with no defense. If he draws a Fatal Push, it looks great.
Other great draw for Tom this coming turn is one of the Tron pieces he does not have, so he can play Oblivion Stone for 3 mana. Hopefully he doesn't die, and then he can crack the map with, like, let's say Urza's Mine, anything but Urza's Tower. Urza's Mine plus the Llanowar Waste, then he searches for the missing Tron piece and can blow O-Stone in the same turn.
The issue here, I think, is Sam's leftover here is a 3rd land and a Kolaghan's Command. So any line of play that involves Ross leaving an artifact on the battlefield don't work.
Not good. Not good. Tom doesn't know that, but not good.
And I think from Sam's perspective, it's just the one draw step that matters is Fatal Push. What are the implications if I get Fatal Pushed?
Sam's going to go with Relic of Progenitus.
And I think that's why he's taking the cheap cycler.
Now Sam will play Death Shadow. Oh yeah, untapped.
Yep, that's 2 more.
Most people would play their Stomping Ground tap there. Nah.
Yep.
Let's go to the boss. T. Ross, draw a card, Expedition Map.
And I like Sam cutting off the cantrip there because I think his position is it has to be exactly Fatal Push off the top. There's nothing he can there's no hole he can poke in this hand if the Death Shadow dies. Tom's just going to assemble Tron and win with whatever. So what's the best path for Ross to draw a Fatal Push, and it involves a cycler.
He'll search for Nurse's Power Plant, the boss. So he's got a tower, power plant. He's missing the mine. He'll play an Expedition Map, pass a turn back. Sam will shuffle Tom's deck and present it back to him, and now he will be untapping. He'll be drawing a Marsh Flats. Leon, the Last Hope, Kolaghan's command in hand. Now, what's actually kind of humorous about this is if Tom peels the next Tron piece off the top of the deck, which is Nurse's Mine, and Sam is at 3, Ugin would kill him.
Yep.
So you got to be a little wary about bringing yourself too low with Death Shadow.
Although if Ross gets to Ugin, then I think it's a foregone conclusion anyway.
Probably over either way, right?
Yep.
Decisions.
I don't think there's a way for Sam to kill this turn.
No, definitely not.
He can use either Liliana the Last Hope or the Kolaghan's command to get back a Street Wraith and cycle. So that's 2 more damage if he wants it, plus he's got the Marsh Flat. So he can go down to 1 if he feels it.
Players in the 4 p.m. Modern Challenge competitors.
Sam will sack Marsh
Your
Flats.
pairings have been posted out in the hallway on the F through H pairings board.
That's what Lanny wants to get.
Orange paper.
If Tarnished Citadel was legal, would this deck play it?
Players in the Modern Challenge.
No.
Just I think you want to play as many fetch lands as possible, and then the bare number of lands you need to make all the mana work.
Okay.
That's it.
Don't want to just dome yourself for 3 a bunch?
Nah, I don't think Tarnished Citadel will make the cut. I mean, this deck could play Mana Confluence if it wanted to, it doesn't.
It's true. We might just see K Command on the map. That could be a thing. It's a 2-turn clock right now, right? 13 minus 4 is 9.
He's
so
got
sort of.
he's got a 2-turn clock however he wants it.
Yep.
That's not the issue here. It's can he disrupt this in a meaningful way? Or is he just at the mercy of the top of Tom's deck?
I think it's just at the mercy of top of Tom's deck. Here's Liliana. He's going to mill 2 cards, Tarfire among them, get back Street Wraith, which you saw coming. Now he's going to cycle it, go out at 2. I love it. Oh, Inquisition is
That's a prize.
Nice.
That's a
Jeez.
prize. He found a draw that interacts.
You can just, Sylvan Scrying and O-Stone, so. I mean, can't beat any of the big mana cards.
Right. And all these big mana cards are just lethal. This doesn't really matter all that much.
Yep. Tom's got to peel the Tron piece. He peeled a card, and that's not it.
And again, Sam had no way to cut him off of any of the big draws, so all I could do is disrupt the enablers as much as possible and hope that Ross didn't peel natural Tron.
Sam Black going to win again and 1 here over Tom Ross. Death Shadow very quickly up a game over Green Black Tron. We go to the sideboards here. We will start with the boss, who's got 3 Nature's Claim, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Warping Whale, 2 Relic of Progenitus, a Gemstone Caverns, a Grafdigger's Cage, an O-Stone, a Radiant Fountain, a Thrag Tusk, and a World Breaker.
So this is a tough place to sideboard because I think a lot of these incidental life gain measures, like the Thrag Tusk and the Radiant Fountain, aren't really worth a whole lot. I like the 2 copies of Relic of Progenitus just as another cycler and a way to attack Black's Graveyard, which he's using as a resource in a variety of ways. Other than that, we saw against Burnt, he went to Nature's Claim, with part of the reasoning being he can cycle Nature's Claim on his own stuff. I don't think that's good enough in this matchup.
I'm not sold that it's good enough in this matchup.
Okay.
I'll say that. For Sam Black, he's got 3 cards that are great here in Fulminator Mage. Then he's got 3 Lingering Souls, 2 Fatal Push, 2 Surgical Extraction, a Grudge, a Cage, a Kataki's War Wage, a Ranger Vios, and a Terminate.
So the 3 copies of Fulminator Mage are obviously a star of this matchup, and I wouldn't be surprised if Black went to the surgical extractions alongside that to try to cut Ross off of Tron. Once Ross can't get to any of his powerful plays, the 7 and 8 mana cards, I think it's pretty trivial to win. You can see cards like the 1 copy of Ancient Grudge come in here also, as Ross is playing with a lot of artifacts.
Those are the options there for both players. So while they do shuffle up and sideboard here for game number 2, keep in mind Tom Ross will be on the play with this green-black Tron deck. Let's talk about Jacob Ball, shall we? Our last Invitational champion, Mr. Baugh, he's an Energy Reserve token now after he did get the job done in Atlanta at the back end of 2016 to qualify for the Players' Championship, where he made a deep run there. So it's been quite the year for Jacob Ball over 2016 and 2017. And if you like this Energy Reserve token, and that's so many do, a couple ways to go about getting it Patrick can tell you about right now.
Well, the best way is to head out to the SCG Tour, as anyone who participates in an Open or a Classic gets this token for free when they register. If you can't make it out to the SCG Tour, any order from StarCityGames.com, $5 or greater, will be sent with this token.
Congratulations to our Atlanta Invitational champion, Jacob Ball, for one heck of a 2016, and of course making it to the Players' Championship last year. Sammy B, that's Sam Black. He's putting together a Hall of Fame resume here, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Over time, the 34-year-old who resides in Madison, Wisconsin, he's got 3 Open top 8s and Invitational top 8. We don't see him a ton on the SCG Tour, but he is someone who's had a lot of Pro Tour and Grand Prix success, most notably his Grand Prix top 4 last weekend with this Death Shadow deck. He loves it so much that he came out here to play with it again. Other things to note about Sam, he writes on extensive topics outside of Magic and looking for publication. Cooking enthusiast, I've actually had some of Sam's cooking. It's very, very good. He is a former #1 Dreamblade player in the world, and one heck of a Magic player, too. He's a gamer through and through. One of the things I always remember about Sam, if you ever go to his Twitter, it says 2 words, I game.
So
that's it.
If you are someone who would like to make a game, and as a way to promote your game, you would like to introduce some large cash prizes to try to spur demand and get more enthusiasm going, you better hope that your development can handle Sam Black, because he is coming for you. Dreamblade, Epic, variety of games he's played. World of Warcraft minis back in the day.
He plays them all.
Dominant at all of these games. And it's interesting, too, because there's a lot of players, I know a lot of players who, they play Magic and they like high variance games, and they play some other high variance games like poker or some other trading card games in that space. I know some people who don't really like the high variance experience of Magic and like card games that are closer to chess and chess itself. I don't know a lot of people who are all about all of it. Doesn't matter kind of the structure of the game, as long as it's fun, they're down for the strategy. And Sam is definitely one of those types.
He's all about all of it.
All of it. He'll take it all.
He came to game. That is for sure. I've known Sam for a really long time. You know, back when I was PTQing during my college days in the mid-2000s. Yeah, like 04 to 07. Used to run into him a lot at Detroit PTQs. He'd come down to Indy with Matt Severa and the rest of the guys. Chicago area PTQs at pastimes. And the way that his game has grown over the past decade is just incredible.
Yep.
He's gotten so good at Magic. Wasn't the best at those times, but he sure is now. And it will be no surprise to me. I know it's a goal of his to make the Magic Hall of Fame. It'll be no surprise to me once he eventually does make it, because he will. And there's a tower and a chromatic sphere to start here for Tom Ross. I bet you like that invasion sphere.
I do.
Gross. Street Wraith going to bring Sam down to 18. Street Wraith from Future Sight?
Has to be.
Yeah, it seems like a very
It's such a
Future
bad
Sight
design
card.
that it, that's the set it had to have been from.
Here's a Mishra's Bobble. That one's from Cold Snap. And now Sam, I think, is going to make Tom do a little bit of discarding. Oh yeah, there's a future sight symbol.
Yep.
Inquisition can select between Relic, O-Stone, Sylvan Scrying. Leftovers will be a Llanowar Waste, not a Yavimaya Waste, Llanowar Waste, and a card liberated.
So for all but the most invested Magic players,
Yes.
the concept of cycling is somewhat baffling. Why would I want to do this? Also, the concept of paying life to do things is somewhat baffling. Why would I want to do this? Just put them together.
Slap them onto a card.
Why would I do this? As it turns out, it's busted to do this.
Yeah.
This is how you learn trading card games. Find the card in the file that looks the most attractive to you. That's the worst card in the set. So
Okay,
don't
got
play
it.
with that.
Got it.
Now repeat this until you're down to 5 or 10 cards.
Okay.
And the leftover should be the most powerful cards, and those are the ones you play with.
Sam will draw from his bauble. Tom will draw for his turn. Picked up a copy of Ancient Stirrings.
What card looks most attractive to you? I don't know. The goblin that makes my other goblins better. Yeah, that sucks. Don't play with that.
Do not do that.
Find the card that causes you to damage yourself to do something that doesn't make sense to you.
Here's a Sylvan Scrying from Tom. He's on the hunt for a Tron piece. We'll see which one. It's the power plant. We're going to go over to Sammy B now. Sam will draw. Verdant Catacombs. Here, Battle Rage, Tarmogoyf over there in the grip. Looks like at least one copy of Death Shadow. I think he's got a Thoughtseize too. We'll see how he wants to play his spells over the next handful of turns.
Why would I want to pay life to get a land out of my deck? That must be bad. No, it's busted.
That's insane.
That's the best card in the file.
Yeah.
Play with 4 of those.
That is number 1.
In fact, your green and black deck probably wants to play with some of the black-white ones because it's so powerful to be doing this, even if all you can get with it is swamps.
Yep.
You cut the swamps from your deck for these things that deal damage to you.
I know it doesn't make sense on the surface, but you're going to want to do that.
Trust me, this is what you want to be doing.
Inquisition, yet again. O-Stone, Sylvan Scrying, Ancient Stirrings is what black gets to choose from now.
Or Sam's deck can't really, the planeswalkers that dominate the battlefield, there isn't a whole lot of recourse here. Both Karn and Ugin should be game-winning plays a huge percentage of the time, and it kind of doesn't matter what the game looks like. And Sam knows this, so he has to cut off Ross's access to Tron as much as he possibly can.
So scrying down. Sam going to sacrifice a Verdant Catacombs. See what land he wants to search up. It's 17 for now, but you best believe that's going to be 15. Overgrown Tomb.
When's the last time you've seen Spellweaver Volute?
This again?
Char Rumbler.
What's the Zoetic Cavern?
Zoetic Cavern.
That one's nice.
Yeah.
Lucent Limit, I think it is. The enchantment creature 3/3.
Yeah. Why is that an enchantment? Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I know, because it isn't one.
Yeah.
Have you seen this set?
Yeah. Thoughtseize is going to take care of Karn Liberated. Future Sight, I didn't realize it at the time when I was playing with it like 9 years ago.
Because you're a super invested player.
Yeah, because I was a mega spike playing then. Yeah. But now looking back at it, it is rather humorous.
Right. Why does Char Rumbler have negative power?
Why wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. Here's Nation Stirrings. Tower, Push, Stirrings, Power Plant, a Relic. Tom does not have the mine yet. He'll go with the Relic. The rest will go to the bottom of the deck.
Yep. It's a cycler to help find Tron, and then also if black happens to be on Tarmogoyf at some point, good answer.
Yep. A lot to like about the old Relic. Very main deckable card in this format. We go over to black. He picked up a copy of Liliana of the Last Hope.
And you can see black's hand is really bad against Relic of Progenitus. He has Traverse the Ovenwall and Tarmogoyf and Liliana of the Last Hope.
Yeah, pretty bad. Traverse. Sorcery. Yeah, he's got Delirium.
Yeah.
Tom's going to take it away.
As you like to say, black just has to get through this stage of the game. He can traverse for a land and still be able to cast the Tarmogoyf. And it's not like he can do... His hand's so bad against an anti-graveyard measure that he sort of has to do this.
Does he have nothing to search for?
Well, he has the swamp already.
Basic Forest? Does he not have one? He has one.
Might have sided it out.
Yeah, totally in play. All right. Here's a map. He's got Tron now.
I think we'll be going to game 3 shortly.
I think you might be right. Urza's mine. Tom has Ancient Stirrings in hand too, so now black will draw Stomping Ground. The tough part here is Sam can't extend too much because of O-Stone.
his deck fundamentally plays on the table, and Tron gets in a position where its table presence is so dominating that there's no recourse.
It's part of the appeal of playing the deck.
You know, Tron sometimes has problems with creature lands. Its defensive measures don't handle that very well. It has problems with lava spikes off the top, doesn't really interact with that. But this kind of action, Tron is very good against if you can get to this stage of the game.
Goyf, Death Shadow, the play here for Sam Black. Tom will play a Blooming Marsh. He'll play an O-Stone. He'll pass the turn back. Doesn't want to blow it just yet.
I mean, he can take this hit if he wants to and do it in a turn, or...
I think, yeah, he's just going to get rid of it now.
Okay.
Now Sam, he did draw a land, which is fortunate for him because his turn now is Liliana, minus Get Back Death Shadow. Play that, hope to kill you in one turn with Team or Battle Rage. And hope that Tom has no way to interact with that.
Yeah.
Looks like Sam's thinking Blood Curve. Keep in mind, this is a game in which he traversed and there was a full swing and a miss, and he still might be able to win this game.
Though I think that if Ross is able to answer this last threat, I don't think Black can recover, or it will be very challenging to at least.
Top two to the bin. All right, Death Shadow pass. To Tom Ross, we're gonna go. Five Death Shadow right now.
Is Ross's leftover here a walking ballista?
He's tapping a lot of mana.
Oh boy.
How many counters on this thing? 6? He could. Boy, this would be awkward.
I mean, it's a. Can he just shoot down the Death Shadow here and the Liliana?
Well, he can, assuming that Sam doesn't have a Street Wraith.
But yeah, I think you would have seen him cycle the Street Wraith.
That's probably true, yeah. This is real risky to let him untap, I think.
Strikes me as a little bit risky, but fortunately, I guess the logic is there's no way for Sam to set up the game where he can do something super threatening without just dying to the walking ballista.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So
because the lower that Sam goes to make the shadow bigger, he just dies.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
I thought it was a little weird too and a little bit risky, but how is Black going to kill Ross without going to 5 or lower?
Yep.
It seems really hard.
That does make a lot of sense now that you think about it a little bit more. Teamer Battle Rage and Fulminator Mage in hand here for Sam. I'm not sure how he wiggles his way out of this one. Because Fulminator Mage needs to break up Tron pretty bad.
But that's not what the game's about at this point.
Sure doesn't feel that way. There is Fulminator Mage. Well, wow, Fulminator Rage is really interesting in this spot because it needs to break up Tron, because if Tom gets to untap with Tron, he's just going to dump onto the Ballista and then kill Sam.
And next turn, I mean, the problem is if let's say he blows up the Tron piece, Tom just goes untap, move to combat, attack you. And now what's the line?
You got to block then.
Then you're chumping?
Yeah, good point. Stirrings to start. 3, 4, 5. Don't think Tom found much of anything there. Remember, his Tron's broken up now. Get Chromatic Sphere if he'd like. That's an option. O-Stone is much too slow right now, it appears. And then Chromatic Star in hand for Tom. He's going to go with O-Stone, however. Yep, pump it up. And attack. Yeah, he's just got to block now.
Yeah, and now Black is just chump blocking, and I think we're done here.
I think we are probably done. Traverse the draw. I'm not sure what that finds. I am fairly sure that Sam has Delirium.
Land Planeswalker. Yeah, I mean, Delirium's not the issue here.
There's just no creature that I think he has, you know, like he doesn't have like a Reclamation Sage to come in to kill that. At least I don't think so.
I think anything that he can get here is just a chump blocker.
I think so too. See, Death's Shadow. Ross will untap. The boss will draw. Tower is not what was missing. Tom could try to aggressively find the missing Tron piece here.
So he can cycle if he wants to, because the cycling only costs him 2, and he still has a land drop, so he has 4 mana to dump in the Ballista if he wants to.
Sam's going to play Teamer Battle Rage.
Okay.
So 5/5 Death Shadow.
Yeah, looking at a trade here.
That's what it feels like.
Although I think in response, Tom can just gun down the Death Shadow. It gives Black some time, gives him some draw steps.
So he will gun it down. O-Stone plus Star. Sam will draw. Ah, yes. Street Wraith.
Nice.
Cycle down to 6. Draw. Okay.
Okay. We play on.
We do play on. We do play on. Stirrings here from Tom. Gonna start by sacking the Star. Sylvan Scrying means we don't play much longer. I don't think. Search up in the missing Tron piece. That's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 activations.
And again, it's a spot of how does Black kill you without going solo. The Ballista just kills him.
Yep. Because you got to keep in mind that Tom is at a healthy 19. Here's Ancient Stirrings. Hey, you know you find a Karn or an Ugin, this game's over. Wormcoil's not bad. There's Oogie Doogie.
That'll do.
That'll do just fine. Gonna cast this one. Goodbye, Death Shadow. Let's go to game 3, shall we? Tom Ross, Sam Black, they are all tied up. Green, Black, Tron on your right, Death Shadow on your left. Pretty compelling match thus far.
Yep, and Black without the most explosive draw in the world there. It took him a little while to get a threat going, and once Ross got Tron assembled, just the powerful cards in his deck are too powerful. They interact too efficiently and too reliably with the board, and they're hard workarounds for Black.
Particularly the sideboards here. We've already gone over them once, but does anything kind of jump out to you, play, draw here? I mean, it looks like Sam has sideboarded out the forest.
Yeah, I don't think much changes here. The Fulminators are good. If you wanted Extraction to try to combo Fulminator Mage, you probably wanted it on the play and on the draw. I don't think a whole lot changes.
Fair enough. These players are going to sideboard up, maybe change a few things here. You see Tom kind of going through his 15. They'll shuffle up. They're ready here for game number 3. So while they do that, let's talk about Grand Prix Orlando, shall we? Going to be one heck of a tournament. Expect to see Sam Black there, Tom Ross there as well. I'll be there. You coming?
No.
I didn't think so.
Nope.
A boy can dream.
Nope.
But hopefully you watching at home will be there and you can learn more about that Grand Prix right now.
On March 24th through the 26th, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Orlando. Play in the Kaladesh Aether Revolt limited format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and a spot on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Scrapper Champion playmat. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim a Scrapper Champion playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Orlando's many special guests, including cosplayer Vanessa Martin and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Vulcan Baga. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Orlando today.
StarCityGames.com/GP Orlando. Learn more information. Get registered today if you plan on coming. And prepare for a little Kaladesh Aether Revolt Limited. Should be a fun weekend there. Also got that Sunday PTQ now.
Sweet.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Looks like both these players are going to keep their hands. Hopefully Sam finds the opportunity to tar fire himself again, assuming tar fire is still in the deck.
I'm guessing they were boarded out.
Yeah, probably.
It is a great delirium enabler, but I think black can do better post-board.
Sam going to start by taking a look at the top card of his deck with the bobble. Now he'll play a Marsh Flats. And he actually wants a card that is on top, which I do not have a great look at, unfortunately.
I believe it was Tarmogoyf.
Well, that makes some sense. Going to get a clock going against a Tron deck.
And that's the thing. Another part of the bobble, besides being a 0-mana cantrip, all things that come along with that, a free artifact in graveyard, etc., etc., it's not nothing. It's not nothing to know the top card of your opponent's deck. And with fetch lands in your own deck, it's not nothing to know the top card of your own deck.
Chromatic Sphere. And we head back over to Sammy B. Wooded Foothills looks like it might be the land for the turn. Sam picked up another copy of Tarmogoyf, by the way. And now Sam is going to sack each of these fetch lands. See what lands he does want to search up here. Gonna go with an Overgrown Tomb. And now a Blood Crypt. So Sam already down to 14. No surprise there. Always looking to whittle away at his own life total. And it might be time for old Tarmogoyf. Could be time for Ancient Grudge. Ah, getcha!
Love it. I think black has to go through great pains to cut off Tron as much as possible, because it's hard for him to get the big pieces out of the hand with discard, because Inquisition is part of the equation. And once Tron's online and the big plays start happening, black is hard pressed to win the game. He doesn't have a lot of outs to that stuff. So I think a lot of players instinctually would have gone after, just played the Tarmogoyf, whatever, get a clock going. But Sam knows that every cycler matters. Also, it's possible Ross's hand doesn't have green or black mana without the chromatic effects.
Surgical Extraction with a draw for Sam, and now he's got the combo. I'm using combo loosely, but it is a combo.
Oh yeah, it is.
Set up a Fulminator Mage, your Tron land, and I will Surgical Extraction them all away.
Assemble your own sowing salt. That is a combo. Yeah, of course that's a combo.
Another Urza's Mine here for Tom. Green floating here off of the star. Time to scrying. See what land Tom wants to search up. I assume a Tron land. I could be wrong though. Might go for old Blooming Marsh, but he's going to go get himself a power plant.
So I think he has a, if he has an expedition map left over, he can go and assemble Tron next turn, assuming nothing bad happens. But he's not going to just want to expose naked artifacts out there because of the Grudge in the graveyard.
So I'll be drawing here in just a moment, and I don't want to call it this simplistic, but truthfully it kind of is. If he draws a land, this game's probably over.
Yeah, just snaps him off.
He's drawing a Liliana of the Veil. This game is not over yet. So he'll start things up with a Thoughtseize. Let's take a little look here. Ancient Stirring, Sylvan Scrying. I believe Walking Ballista, Expedition Map, a third copy of Urza's Mine, and a Fatal Push. Now, the thing that gets a little awkward for Sam is if Tom peels off a tower right now. I think he's got to kind of contend with a big old Walking Ballista.
There's a lot of tough things that are going on in this hand. The big one is Ross may be able to play through a theoretical Fulminator Mage plus Surgical Extraction.
Okay.
He's got enough mana to work with here and some stuff to do. Additionally, he can, if he wants to, he could even Sylvan Scrying next turn through the Expedition map, or excuse me, Expedition map for a Llanowar Waste and just cast Fatal Push. He doesn't have to push on the Tron next turn.
It's true.
And then he's drawing very live to a number of things with the ability to assemble Tron through the Sylvan Scrying.
The map is the selection here from Sam Black.
It has to be the map because the map allows Ross to assemble Tron or just go get a Llanowar Waste and cast stuff. So now Ross's hand, I believe, is a dead end besides the Walking Ballista. He doesn't have the ability to assemble Tron, and the rest of the cards in his hand required green or black mana, which he doesn't have right now.
Well, I guess we'll have to see what he draws, shall we? Well, there's your green and black mana. It enters the battlefield tapped as the Blooming Marsh, but it is there. And I think, yeah, he's just going to play this. Yeah.
But it's better than most draws.
Agreed.
I'm sure Ross will take it, but.
Sam, third land.
There it is. Get to snap him off. Sowing salt time.
Yeah, it is a build your own sowing salt if Sam wants to go that direction.
And who wouldn't?
In a weird way, I'm like almost kind of compelled to want to like take out the Blooming Marsh.
Nah.
I mean, I'm not going to.
Nah.
I'm just slightly compelled to wanting to do it. I defer to Sam's judgment.
Get him.
Okay. Well, we know what side you lean on.
Yeah, you don't really want to blow up the Blooming Marsh and then have him draw a star and kill you.
Fair. That would be a little frustrating, perhaps. Fulminator Mage. Take that.
Okay.
Take that.
Apologies.
Boom.
Apologies. I guess he can still surgical the Sylvan Scrying?
No, what I think it is there's no payoff that Sam's that scared of. So if Tom peels out a tower, it would just be a big walking ballista. I'm not saying, that's good news, but it would just be a really big walking ballista, and he's got a Kolaghan's Command in his hand.
Sure. But that's his only Stone Rain. The problem is now the top of Ross's deck is very live.
Ish.
I mean, he picked up a map. He can assemble Tron, and then, I mean, an Ugin, a Karn, a Wormcoil Engine. He's got a lot of huge draws from that.
It's a little risky. I certainly get why Sam did what he did because he's working with, borderline perfect information outside of what was on the top of Tom's deck about the contents of his hand. And now, see, Tom is searching up a Land of War Waste, which you mentioned 2 turns ago, so that he can just play Magic right now. Which means he can kill this Tarmogoyf. So he's going to play that, and he's got Fatal Push at the ready.
Yep. And I would assume he's going to be fatal pushing here.
That's my assumption as well. Black will draw. Liliana, the Last Hope. In comes Tarmogoyf. Down goes Tarmogoyf.
So Liliana, the Last Hope is a nice draw here if Sam is willing to take the turn off because it allows him to get the Fulminator Mage back. The question is, does he just need to keep the pressure up? Is it too slow to take a turn off?
All right, there's Goyf. Pass the turn back.
Yeah, and Black feeling just too slow, needs to keep the pressure up.
Power plant, not a tower. Tommy has a scrying, though. All right. Tom going to fall down to 9 at cast a scrying, likely to go get a tower. Access to 7 mana. Now, I don't know which play was right from Sam, if he's supposed to kill the Blooming Marsh or just take out the Tron piece.
He knew about the scrying in hand, right?
So he could have surgicaled the one in the
If
graveyard.
you're not going to break up Tron, I'm curious why you wouldn't just go ahead and surgical away the scrying that you know about.
Here comes Goyf. Tom could have played Walking Ballista, didn't.
Curious if he's just hoping he can fireball Black out.
Well, Sam knows about it. He could have played it for 3, which is pretty meh. Here's Death Shadow. I mean, if he draws Ugin, it's just a tower. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's for 6. Oh, he's a Stirrings in his hand, I think.
Yeah, he's got looks at it.
Okay. Yeah, if Ugin shows up, Tom is in pretty good shape. Not great shape, but pretty good shape. Down to 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 Karns in there.
Well, if he can cast Karn and a Chump Blocker, hypothetically that's good. We know that it's not because Sam's got Kolagon's command. Yeah, Tom might be thinking, I've got to get Ugin right now. Karn's no good.
It's Ugin or O-Stone.
Yeah.
This gives him another draw at it, which I like. I like him taking the slot, realizing that Karn is no good here. Sam's got too many cards. He hasn't been casting anything. It's just too likely that he has some way to answer. Keep in mind, Tom hasn't played land yet either. Yeah, and he's got Ancient Grudge in the graveyard too.
Yeah. So he can't expect the Ballista to chump block.
Yeah, that's part of the reason he didn't play last turn,
Yep.
which makes a lot more sense. Can't forget about that.
Again, Modern 11 players John Myron and Taylor Valdez to the Skinny Standard, please. Thank you.
I think you probably spin this for probably green.
Yeah, green gives you a redraw.
He's going to go with black. So he gets the star again. Keep in mind, black mana floating. So now 2 colorless and a black floating. 1 colorless and a black floating. Crack that. Spin. Karn. Same problem. Black-green floating.
Both threats are lethal. He needs 2 removal spells
He just doesn't
or a
have.
blocker that can stick around.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to do it. Sam Black's going to win this match over Tom Ross. 2-1. Death Shadow going to take care of Green-Black Tron. It was Ross's inability to really fire off his big mana engine quickly in that matchup. And Sam did have the opportunity to break up Tron forever.